Happy 4th of July and happy birthday, USA. And now to be a poo-poo head, because it is actually one of my least favorite days of the year. Sorry, America. That has nothing to do with me being unpatriotic or not proud to be an American, and everything to do with me being a dog mom and having a fluffy companion as my soulmate. Enter adorable Jenny montage here. Today stinks as a pet owner, and so to celebrate in my own way, today we are talking about how to keep your pet safe and as happy as possible on this particular holiday. Stay tuned. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, friends and fam. If you're new around here, my name is Ryann Carroll. I'm a licensed real estate broker here in Portland, Oregon with Portland Diggs Real Estate. But we're gonna jump straight into it today, no time to waste. Today we're talking about booms, bangs, and how to keep your pets safe on the 4th of July. Let's go. Even the chillest of dogs can have noise phobias relating to the sounds of fireworks on this very boom-tastic holiday, and feel that their death is looming with this booming and banging that's happening all around them. And it's understandable. All you have to do is put yourself in their shoes for just a minute. And trust me, I wish that there was a way that I could explain to Jenny, for example, who has extreme noise sensitivity, doesn't even like the stings and rings of my cell phone. So when I'm home, I keep that on vibrate. But even more so, she's scared of blimps. I wish, probably more than most, that I could communicate to her in some way, even just blimps being the perfect example, that that item there is never going to harm you. Of course, they do not understand that this day is meant as a celebration, and those noises are in fact that. Instead, it sounds like a war zone. So I'd be scared too. Some of the calmest demeanor dogs have been known to bolt from their owners, trying to run to safety as they are in sheer survival mode. Like I said, Jenny, my pet, has extreme noise sensitivity. So imagine a pup with that level of sensitivity suddenly experiencing ground shaking booms and flashing lights all around them. It makes for a really, really tragic and hard to watch, heartbreaking experience. But there are a few tips and tricks that I am here to share with you today that I lean on for this day in particular. I've owned Jenny now for 8 years and gone through 8 different 4th of Julys, and still it is imperfect, but these are the steps that I take to try and combat against those noises and get through the day, the night, what's really sadly turning into a week nowadays of those booms, and manage anxiety as much as possible. But let's get into those tips and tricks. First, I want to talk about products. I don't know where I put it. First, I want to start with talking about a few different products out there. So I lean on these as a help. They're tools that are going to be resources available to you to help combat the situation, but it is not, in my experience, going to eliminate anxiety by any means. So just have reasonable expectations. But using these tools in parallel with some of the other tips that I'll be talking about today really make for kind of the best case of a worst case scenario. This being the first one I wanted to talk about, and that's the Thunder shirt. What it does is it's an elastic fabric that's set up to fit by size your particular pet, and then wrap very tightly, but not to the point where they're uncomfortable or anything. But what it is simulating a close kind of hug. It naturally brings on a calmer feeling and minimizes anxiety even just a little bit. Like I said, this is not going to fix everything for your pet necessarily. I know some people have had more success with it than I have, but for me, it's just one, again, of those many tools that I utilize. The next thing I want to talk about is CBD. In particular, I use CBD oil in Jenny's food, and I ramp it up a bit on these days. Now, I'll cover some other time on this channel specifically my personal story with CBD, as I've really had it bring on kind of a life-changing experience as far as pain management, and I've had a ton of success with using this. Now, there's not a ton of data out there, but there's enough that's been shown that this is not harmful for dogs. In fact, you can buy dog specific CBD in most of your natural dog stores, at least around the Portland area for right now. It is legal. It is not illegal by any means. CBD has been approved as a legal substance by the Farm Bill earlier in 2019, and I couldn't be more happy about it because this, again, is another tool paired with the Thunder shirt and these other items that just are going to help even the littlest bit. And that's all it takes for me to be game on this day in particular. Now, noise distraction is certainly something that I've been leaning on the longest, and that is, for example, turning up your TV, utilizing Spotify, whatever it is, to kind of max volume that's tolerable for you and your housemates if you have any. Plus, I also run my AC unit, my portable AC unit that I have hooked up to a window, at the fan setting, unless I'm also using it to stay cool, but leaving it at least on the fan setting is going to create that white noise and to compete against those booms and bangs of fireworks happening just outside your door. Anything that can kind of distract is a pro on a day like this and well worth the energy consumption, in my opinion, to minimize my dog's anxiety even the littlest bit. One major thing, and this is for anyone especially who doesn't know how your dog is going to react on a day like this, go outside only with your dog's collar, making sure that it's free of defects and keeping them on a leash. I don't care if you have the world's best dog and they usually stick to your side. If you don't know if they are already comfortable with fireworks at all, it just takes a second, one bad bang to have them running away from you, potentially into the street and harming themselves or running away to a point where you may have extra challenges trying to find them. Plus, I don't want my dog out there, especially in this state, by herself. So even when I'm taking her out just to pee, I'm keeping a leash on her. It's the classic better be safe than sorry. As far as setting up camp, now, it's one thing if you have 4th of July festivities that you're going to be attending and leaving your dog at home. I highly recommend, if that's something that you're going to do, see if you have any friends or family members or someone that you can hire to be watching your dog during that day, just in case there's any way that they could possibly get out of your home. And not to mention having a person there being a calm and reassuring presence that things are going to be okay is going to be another step along the way towards minimizing your pet's anxiety. But beyond that, finding the quietest place in your home possible, or bonus points if you've got a friend that lives in the middle of the woods away from all of the festivities, see if you can hit them up for the evening and have your dog or both of you stay there. If you are staying at home, however, look for whichever room you have in your house that has the least amount of windows or the most amount of insulation, or possibly a basement. That's going to minimize the amount of noise that you and your pets are experiencing, and then paired with the noise distraction efforts, stand a good chance of keeping things pretty calm. Distractions of any kind are a positive thing on this day in particular. So say you're successful and there's not been a lot of noise coming in so far, and you are able to distract your dog by playing with them or throwing the ball around, all of those things, any sort of positive experience that keeps them focused on something other than the noise and the scary happenings outside, go for it. Rewarding, giving treats, and all of that sort of thing. But that does bring me into my next point, and that is those things that I do not do. And that is to not necessarily reward that anxious behavior. I think as a dog parent, it's natural to want to take care of them and make them feel better, and being humans, we don't understand what we might be subtly even doing. So what I try to do is, of course, be there for Jenny. If she's crawling all over me, then absolutely I let her do that and I pet and try and soothe her as much as possible. However, what I'm not doing is giving her treats and even subconsciously be rewarding that anxious behavior. It's of course not anything that I'm going to be disciplining her for, but more importantly, I'm not trying to reward this sort of reaction because I'm trying to encourage calmness. And so when there are moments of calm, give those treats. reward that experience. And it's gonna help even, again, the littlest bit. All these little things, they add up to big things. And that is a comfortable night with minimized anxiety for you and your pet. One other thing that I really like as well is on the day of fireworks, getting your pet some exercise. Much like humans, exercise does wonders to minimize anxiety and stress. So if you can start the day off with getting some activity on with your pet, it's really going to help later in the evening because they've taken down some of that energy and have less of it to put into that anxious feeling and stress. And that's really all of my tools, tips, and tricks. If you have any that I've missed here, please, for Jenny's sake, leave that in the comments because anything and everything helps. I know it would be a huge favor to anyone else watching this video as well, so please do that. Lastly, just be smart. Don't drink too much to the point that you're missing any of these little details for your pet and adding risk to the situation. And please respect your neighbors as well as quiet hours. It's a real bummer if you've made it through the night successfully only to be going to bed and have everything restart at 1 a.m. But I hope this wasn't too much of a downer. I hope you have a really fun and safe and celebratory 4th of July and that your pets have as great of an experience as possible using whatever tools you like to lean on. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, make sure you click the subscribe button. From Jenny and myself, thank you for watching. Thank you for being safe and smart and respectful today and all days. Thank you for watching. You are awesome. We loved speaking with you today. And until next time, dig where you live. Bye. Bye. Whew. She's really heavy. She's a hefty girl carrying around a couple LBs. Yeah. Wish us luck.